L-I-T, the blight
Okay,
side. The blight side
okay,
of
we're
life. The blight side of life.
uh,
Mhm.
uh, hello, viewers. This is the regular Traversable Mgtow Thursday podcast. I'll do this one as a regular versable. Uh, we have Shining In and we have Devious In. And uh, you want to say hello to the guys?
Oh, devious insanity Dominic here.
Devious Insanity Dominic. You got to spell with all the big letters, small letters. It was really hard for me to pronounce.
Yeah,
So,
He's a film reviewer.
yeah, the film reviewers in between. Yeah.
oh, you do the film review. We love the film review. I just watched the worst movie ever yesterday.
What was it?
Uh, that was The Avengers Civil War. I
Oh,
stole it.
you should have been warned by that. I think
Yeah,
that's what one of it
yeah,
was.
dude. You should have noticed, like, if you keep up on the comic books, Avengers: Age of Ultron was weak as fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit what anybody says. Superman versus Batman is fucking epic, dude. Like
Oh, do you like it? Did you enjoy it?
I fucking love Batman versus Superman.
I like that one too. I,
Because
I didn't mind it either.
because it's fucking no, because it's epic as hell. Like I've been waiting, as a comic book fan, I've been waiting for this film for fucking 20 goddamn years, dude. Like really, like since I was a little fucking kid, I've been wanting to see Batman fight Superman, in the theaters, and it's finally. And not only that, but Lex Luthor was given valid points
yes.
as to why he was the way he was. And I
Mm.
love his little rooftop speech of, if God is all good, he cannot be. If God is all powerful, he cannot be good. If he is good, he cannot be all powerful. Nobody ever stopped. Nobody ever came down from the sky and stopped my dad raining down fists of abomination on me. And I really like that because this is one of the DC alternate Earths where it's Lex Luthor Jr. who obviously has hair in the beginning, and part of the reason why Lex Luthor Sr. Hated Superman was because Superman was actually the cause of why he became bald. But anyway, that's like a digression from the
Yeah.
point. But also, like not to spoil the movie, but Doomsday. They finally did a proper version of Doomsday. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the documentary "The Death of Superman Lives," but we were actually supposed to get this movie in 1996
Mm.
from
Okay, I
Tim
remember
Burton.
him.
Yeah, and that documentary is very much so taking a look at because uh, what's funny is a lot of the ideas from Kevin Smith's original script and a lot of ideas from the original script were actually crude and used into infused into Batman versus Superman, like doing the death of Superman and killing him off using Doomsday. That was all going to happen in the 1996 Nicolas Cage movie. Yeah, that's right. Nicolas Cage was going to be a Superman in 1996. Wrap your minds around that if you didn't know about
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah. But I was really did. You know what I did 2 days ago? I stole Zoolander, and I
Mm.
thought I was really gonna hate it. And then I stole the Avengers Civil War, and I thought I was really gonna love that one. And then it turned out just to be
File shared.
yeah,
File
yeah,
shared.
file share. And it turned out to be just the opposite. I loved Zoolander, and I hated I just absolutely, it was the worst thing I ever seen. Uh, Zoolander was supposed to be really silly
Yeah,
and just
it's
that kind
supposed
of
to be that way.
but after I watched Avengers Civil War, I thought that was sillier than Zoolander.
Yeah.
And there was no reason or rhyme there was just no logic in it, and it was just awful. It was just horrible.
I've yet, what's funny is I've yet to see, I've seen Civil War, but I haven't seen Zoolander because I thought the opposite. I thought, oh, of course Zoolander's going to be stupid. So now that you say, it's good, now that you say that it's good, I'll definitely give it a look now.
Yeah,
Because I have it around. I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
I was pre-sensitized to knowing that Zoolander was supposed to be just stupid. It's just supposed to be stupid. That's the
Well,
way
you
it
saw the
is.
first one, right?
Yeah, I saw the first one, and it was silly comedy, is what it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
And so when after I watched that, I thought, well, that wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed it in a an entertainment sense. And then I watched uh, the Avengers, and then I was like, this is just horrible.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I think
It's so cookie cutter.
Yeah.
The Marvel universe is the Marvel universe. Every single one is the same villain. Superheroes and villains. They always have the equal amount of power, and it's always some weird fluke that gets the other one killed. Like if you look at Iron Man, Iron Man's awesome,
Yeah.
but Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 is all about other people just using the Iron Man suit. The Incredible Hulk, if they would have done the story, is just about a guy. Is just about a Hulk. Is about a guy who runs into another Hulk. The Abomination, and that's a constant theme that they need to get rid of because every single one of their superheroes, like once again, the only one who has a good rogues gallery is Spider-Man because his opponents aren't exact fucking mirror images of himself
Oh, yeah. They brought in Spider-Man.
like every
They
other Marvel villain.
Yeah, they brought in Spider-Man, and I really didn't understand why they would bring in Spider-Man to the
because
Avengers.
because they
Because
he originally was on the Avengers at one point. He in the comic books he was also a member of the X-Men, but and it's
yeah,
because in the original comic book Civil War, which is far superior, and anybody who saw the Civil War and thought it was great, you'll if you read the series Civil War, you'll be far more entertained because there's a lot. It was written post 9/11, so it has a lot of messages about giving up freedoms for security, and about masking yourself and not letting about the government being out of control. It's about civil war, and the Civil War didn't seem like a civil war to me, especially when I already know that they're going to come back from Infinity Wars. It loses all of its suspense. Marvel doesn't ever kill their characters. None of their characters actually stay dead ever. Like they don't even make an attempt for it. Nobody dies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They play it way too
yeah,
safe.
well,
yeah.
well, in the Marvel universe, Thor is now a woman. How
Thor
did
is
that? How
now.
did
Yeah, I
that
know.
happen?
I'm
Oh God.
dude that triggers the fuck out of me.
It should do.
I'm triggered by that. Like I mean like.
I think if anything deserves to a trigger, I think that certainly
You
qualifies
can't
it.
fight, dude. It's like I could understand if it was a different character, but Thor is from Norse mythology. You fucking bitches. Is nothing sacred? No, I mean no. I'm serious. Like like what? Like his like that makes no sense. His father's name is Odin's son, not Odin daughter.
I
You
know.
know
It's,
the fuck?
Yeah, that's a religion to
It's
these
built
people.
yeah
They just
it's
corrupted their
built into the
religion.
fucking name. And like imagine if you were to do that with Islam, like come out of the comic book with like like Muhammad, or like Muhammad piece of shit and his sidekick fat fuck or whatever. Like no, it's
no offense to Muslims there, by the way.
yeah.
No,
I have no
yes,
problem.
no offense.
I have a problem with Islamicists. I don't have a problem with Arab people. I have a problem with Islamicists.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with race.
Yeah,
yeah. Looking at
yeah,
your
that's
avatar, is that the Black Knight from Monty Python?
No, that's actually the Zodiac killer. He's in his tradition. He's in the garb that he wore when he stabbed that couple at the lake here in California near fuck, where is it? Berryessa Lake at Lake Berryessa. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, just quickly on a note about Batman versus Superman, people are going to wonder, well, how's Batman going to fight Superman? And obviously, he needs to find some kryptonite, which is what happened in the film. He managed to find some kryptonite. So
oh
happy,
yeah, they
But if
they
happy
you
made the
balance.
spear out of it.
but if you watch, he doesn't even need the kryptonite because he uses if you've ever read Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns and Dark Knight Strikes Again, that's all the stuff that Batman used on Superman. He used he used the sonic beams and all that stuff to get to his head and to disarm him. But what people don't understand is Superman really was taking it easy on him. But what people don't realize is, at the same time, is this is not the nice version of Superman. This is not the Boy Scout, version of Superman. This is the almost the unlimited version of Superman in the sense that this is the one who reads, who's going to come back as a tyrant. I don't know if you read comics, but there's alternate universes where Clark Kent And that's basically what Frank Miller was talking to there, and that was one of the alternate universes where he's basically, a tool for the government, and that's why Batman needs to take him down. And that's why when people equate Civil War with Batman versus Superman, it isn't a false equivalence, especially if you're talking about the source material, because the two are so similar, in thematically speaking. So it's
Oh,
hard to mention
Yeah,
one
isn't it
without the
sort of
other.
gynocentrism?
Well,
They're
yeah, well,
subtracting from the character of the male, and then they're bringing in these other female characters, like in Superman versus Batman. They brought in
Wonder
who
Woman.
is the
Dude,
Wonder Woman?
they brought
Yeah.
in no, no, but Wonder Woman fucking kicked ass, dude, and I loved her portrayal. Like she was, she actually kicked ass, and that's what I liked about it. But it showed that she need, it showed that she, like it just showed that she could work with a team, because remember, she's not a woman in the true sense of like a woman. She's a warrior. She wouldn't call herself a woman. She would call herself
she's
a
an Amazon
warrior.
woman. She's from
Exactly.
the
She's an Amazonian.
Yeah.
Amazonian. So if we can get what's his name, Marcus back here and lecture him on the Amazonians. They do exist.
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah.
They do. No, but the idea that I put out there a lot is for the equality people, there's a set amount of equality in a pie. So what Marvel did is they subtracted a little equality from Superman and Batman and made them into, and they did the thing where they had to make them into just a little less so they can give this new position to the Wonder Woman character, and then that makes her a little more, and that's always in the background. It kind of surfaces in the background of all these themes. That the only way you can bring in a woman character is if you take from the character of a male character.
Yeah. Well, she had to play. Well, she did have to play off them because I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember that funny line where when they all first meet and Bruce Wayne looks at Bruce, or Batman looks at Superman. He says, "Is she with you?" And he goes, "No, I thought she was with." And then Kal-El says, "No, I thought she was with you." Like,
Yeah,
because she
she
just
just
comes
kind
out
of
of nowhere.
shows up.
Yeah, she just shows up. She just shows up out of nowhere because she, like she says to him, "I've killed things from other worlds before," And I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. They're referencing, her, because remember, she's gonna get her own solo movie, and as a comic book fan, I've always wanted to see a Wonder Woman movie because she deals with Apocalypse and Darkseid, and she has a good rogues
Yeah,
gallery. And it's funny that the guy who created him was actually, not necessarily a feminist. He wasn't a feminist. He was into BDSM. If you look at the comics that he wrote, they were all mild BDSM. Like that's where the rope of lasso comes into effect. That's why you tie people up to get the
yeah,
truth
that's
out of
what
them. You
the
know.
truth out of him, right? Yeah, no, Wonder Woman doesn't really bother me as a character because she was always a character. It's when they start making up these new characters, like the new Thor one. It's
Yeah,
like,
well,
oh no,
Diana isn't a real Greek god. Thor is a real Norse god. That's the problem. You know.
yeah, yeah. So, having the Wonder Woman character come in is just kind of natural. It's a natural progression to
Yeah.
the whole the old comic books, the way they were written.
They're called the DC Trinity. Batman,
Yeah, the
Superman.
DC Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a run of comic books that was done by oh shit, not Carmine Infantino, but one of those old-fashioned comic book writers. He wrote it like in the 2000s or something, and it's called DC Trinity, and it's all about Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. But
Okay. Yeah.
one aspect that I've always wanted to see translated into film is Superman and Wonder Woman have a baby together, and their daughter grows up to be this fucking strong fucking dude. You do not want to fuck with this kid. Like seriously, like Superman and Wonder Woman's kid. Wow, like she has to restrain herself when she uses her power because she is a beast. And she even if you look at some of the like if you don't have Netflix, or if you don't know like anyone listening, like go to Kiss Cartoon me dot me, uh, go to Kiss Cartoon me, and you can see all of the Batman the animated series for free. You can see it. You don't have to download anything. You can see all the Superman for free. You can see Batman Beyond, anything animated you can see. So I definitely recognize people. Check out Kiss Cartoon. You know, type it
Okay.
in, look it up.
Yeah, I only own one comic book. It's still in a
Yeah.
wrapper.
So
I got it wrapped up in.
you should try and so like try and pull up Kiss Cartoon, and all that stuff is on there. They're all like, I don't know if you've seen the Flashpoint Paradox, or any of the Justice League movies that have come out, but they're stellar. Like in the
Oh
world of
yeah.
in the world of animation, DC rules everything. Marvel just doesn't know what they're doing with their animated characters, whereas the DC knows exactly what they're doing with their animated characters. But it's the other way around. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they know how to deal with their characters, but in the in the DC Cinematic Universe, they don't know how to deal with their characters yet, to a certain extent, because they are these big gods, for want of a better term,
Well, the new X-Men's coming out. X-Men
Okay. Yeah, I've
Apocalypse.
been
Oh yeah,
waiting for that.
X-Men Apocalypse looks sick, especially after, like, I like the way First Class and Days of Future Past used the 70s and the 60s as a tapestry to tell their story against. Like, that was a really smart decision, and a good way to like, revitalize the series without making it an obvious remake. And I love that line where Hugh Jackman, where they walk up to him to recruit him, and he just goes, "Fuck off."
Mhm.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that when they go up to him, when Charles and
That's right. Yeah.
when they,
In the
yeah,
in the
he just
previous
tells
one,
him
yeah.
to, yeah, he tells him "fuck off" in First Class, like.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then he
that. Yeah.
references that in Days of Future Past. He says, "Once you told, Xavier says, once you told me to fuck off, now I'm going to tell you to fuck off."
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that I'm surprised that X-Men has gotten is better. I'm glad that they pulled it away from that guy, that hack Brian whatever, uh, because a lot of people don't realize Fantastic Four and X-Men are not, while they were created by Marvel, they're not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're part of a different cinematic universe. That's why Deadpool, some people think that that's part of the Marvel universe when it's not.
No, it's not. No, no. You had some concerns. You had
So
some concerns about the character of Apocalypse, didn't you? Whether they're going to be able to pull off the character of Apocalypse well.
yeah, yeah, because he's
Of
a
course,
giant. He's like a planetary being. Something. He's like the size of a planet or something. And
Thanos is a ripoff of him. Thanos is
Thanos.
and even the person who created Thanos admitted that he was a ripoff of Thanos.
And the guy the guy that's going to play Apocalypse, he's a bit of a cheesy actor. He's a guy that played that rebel in the last Star Wars. I forget his name, but he's a really cheesy actor.
Oh,
He's like he plays the arsehole for most of the films. He goes in and now he's playing heroes. It's just like when you play too many roles, you sort of get
You get
typecast,
typecast.
and
Yeah.
obviously he's been typecast as an arsehole. So he played a hero in Star Wars. That was quite difficult to pull off, and now he's playing Apocalypse. So I think it was a bad
yeah,
choice, and I can't see how they're going to pull it off. I can't see how they're going to pull off
yeah. No,
Apocalypse.
right. In the original cartoons, the child cartoons from X-Men that started out, he sort of loses a lot of his powers when he comes to Earth here. And I don't know how they were going to do that. How they're going to portray him lose. He becomes small. He becomes man-sized. He's a god, in other universes he's a god, but when he comes here to Earth, and I just didn't know how they were going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon they're going to make another cow's ass out of it, just like they did with number three. X Men 3 was a disaster. Number one, two was good.
Yeah,
Four, five was good.
yeah, I remember seeing the final stand in theaters, and when Jean Grey turned into the Phoenix, I thought, okay, hopefully after she kills everybody, she can just restore the time. I thought that they were going to restore the timeline right then and there,
Right.
because
Yeah.
if you know
Yeah.
anything
They
about
didn't.
the comics, you would know that the Phoenix is basically like a god. Like, it's like this spirit that you can't kill, and it would have been nice if after she killed everybody, things would have reset, kind of.
And they cast Jennifer Lawrence in. I mean, she's in everything now. I mean, ever since she
Yeah.
did
Well, I think
Winters.
I'm not sure if she was. I never watched those Hunger Game movies, so I'm not sure if those came out before or after. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she's in everything. I mean, obviously Hugh Jackman's a
But
good actor.
but Rebecca Romaine was still fit as fuck. They still should have. I don't know. Like they did bring her in for that one cameo though. Do you
Uh,
remember that? Like it was either in First Class or in X-Men: Days of Future Past. The Jennifer Lawrence turns into Rebecca Romaine for a little bit.
yeah, she's just in too many films now. It's like if you overuse an actor, actress, like they're using all the Game of Thrones actors and actresses, and you just think,
I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I know what you mean. Character fatigue.
I know. I mean, Michael Fassbender's in there. He's a great actor, and Nicholas Hoult plays a. I think he does the best performance.
Have
Nicholas
you ever
Hoult.
seen Inglourious Bastards? That was
Yeah, yeah.
Inglourious Bastards in
Brad
First
Pitt.
Class is where I was first introduced to Michael Fassbender. Like he actually knew how to speak German. Before going up for the role, so that's part of the reason, part and parcel of the reason why he got it, because he knew how to speak German.
Have you seen him in the film Shame?
No. Oh,
He,
is that's the movie where he's the slaver or whatever? The
he's
white slaver, or where he's like, yeah.
no, no, no. He plays a New York city worker or something, and he's a pervert basically. But he's not a pervert in the
Oh,
sense like there's something wrong with him. It's a pervert. They're like saying, this is how I interpret it. They're saying that all men are perverts, and you see him like masturbating and trying to get off with all these women. Not in a sense that he's crazy. They portray him like he's a normal guy, and then
This is just how men are.
yeah, it's just how men. And then his sister moves in with him, and it's an interesting film. Interesting film, but I mean, what this week I've been watching old films. I've been watching Escape from Alcatraz, a very manly film there. You
What are they saying it real quick? What are they say? Or is anybody in the chat traversable?
Yeah, they're saying talk more about DC Comics.
Okay, yeah. See,
yeah. Talk
I
more
knew
about
they,
that. Okay.
I knew they would get, I knew I would get some fucking fellow geeks who would say more comic books. I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
I
James
knew it. I knew
Denton,
it.
James Denton, and Warhorse wants to
I
hear
was
more.
trying to.
Okay, look,
Yeah, I was trying to figure
you
out where
guys have
Mark
to see this.
Burley is.
You guys check this out. Look, it's Kiss. See, look, Kiss Cartoon dot me, and then you go on here, and I just typed in Superman. They have
Okay.
everything animated, and I want to show you Superman, the animated series. This is the Batman Superman crossover that I remember watching. It was like the show ran from 1996 to 2000, and it's it holds up to this day, and it's very okay. The title of it is called World's Finest. It's a three-parter. It's a it's adapted from a comic book called World's Finest. From DC, where they meet, where Batman and Superman first meet, or not when they first meet, but
Okay.
basically how they, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just the
Yes.
opening. This is the opening of it. And also, what's also really good are, I don't know if you've seen them, but the Max Fleischer cartoons from 1938 actually still hold up.
Mm.
Have you ever seen those, the Max Fleischer
No.
cartoons?
No.
They're definitely they're on here, and they're definitely worth watching. Like, since I grew up in a Christian, since I was with my dad, I grew up in a very strict Christian household. I was only allowed to read comic books and watch some comic book stuff on TV, and one of those was Max Fleischer.
Mm.
So like, it's funny that my dad was a hardcore into religion, but he would let me read, DC and Marvel, like not
Mm.
knowing, some of the subversive stuff that was in there.
Okay.
Well,
Great. Yeah.
I mean, would your dad like tell you not to watch any other stuff? Like, was he quite strict with that?
Yeah, well, because of it, yeah, because of his religion, he would just say like, just stick to comic books and and just superhero stuff, because he thought like, oh, that's okay, that's not gonna challenge any authority, when really it does.
No.
That's Harley Quinn.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
didn't live with your mother then?
Oh, they got divorced when I was 4.
And and your dad got custody.
Shared custody.
Mm. Well,
I lived,
Okay, we got to watch what we share on here because we had 2 of them taken down already for
well,
oversharing.
this is, as long as we're talking about the content, it falls under fair use. As long as we're
yeah.
commenting
Okay,
and
yeah.
as long as we're commenting on it. No, but look, this is when Harley and the Joker is going after. See, that's made of kryptonite right there,
Okay.
and this is public domain, like basically. But I've seen
Okay, cool.
look at the nostalgia critic and stuff. He puts entire clips and everything up, and he talks about it.
Okay, cool. Okay. So what's happening here?
Okay,
Harley and Joker is going after.
Harley and Joker are in they're in Gotham, and they're to go get the kryptonite because they're gonna go after Superman.
Ah.
Like
Okay.
basically, he basically the Joker is going to wait. Let me fast forward to the good part, like because it's a three-parter.
That's a risque club, huh?
Uh, it was the '90s.
It was the 90s.
It was the '90s. You know, that's the '90s, man. What do you expect? It's
Okay.
funny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one
see,
of
look, yeah, see.
the one. Okay, there he is. Okay. The one
Batman's
comic book I own is the Dark Knight series in the 92 series, The
the Dark
Destroyer.
Knight, the Dark Knight Strikes Again, or the Dark Knight Returns.
It's the Legend of Dark Knight
See, look, he
by
just pulled
DC.
Batman. See, Batman just pulled out kryptonite in front of his face and said, "We need to take care of the Joker."
Ah. Okay, and that goes back to the movie they just made. What you were saying about it.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I felt it necessary to put this on because a lot of the ideas that they used were from Frank Miller, The Death of Superman Lives, The Return of Superman Lives, and even uh, you know some elements of For the Man Who Has Everything, which is an it's an Alan Moore story, and there's also a really good Alan Moore story on Superman called Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Lois Lane is
Yeah,
dating
that's
Bruce
Lois Lane.
because she's a fucking gold digger. Yeah, Lois
Yeah,
Lane, of
yeah.
course, is she has no interest in Clark Kent, of course, because he's lowly Clark Kent. But oh, he's Bruce, But since Bruce Wayne is now around, of course, her pussy's wet for him. The coincidence? I'll leave it up to you. I'll leave you up to
Oh,
decide whether or not her pussy got over the prospect of Bruce Wayne being a millionaire, or her pussy gets wet over the prospect of what a nice guy Clark Kent is to her.
right. We see Batman just bugged him, so they're having this affair in the back, and Batman, the
Yeah,
simp male in this
yeah,
position, has just bugged him, and
because Clark Kent is a fucking simp. Kal El isn't, but Clark Kent.
yeah,
See, that's Kal
and
El.
essentially they're
That's Kal El right there.
yes, essentially they're just gaslighting him.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they're fucking with
interesting.
Superman.
Yeah.
They're bringing kryptonite to a god fight.
The Joker. The Joker was never my favorite character. I always thought the Timekeeper was the best character, and they never did anything with him.
I enjoy this version of the Joker because he's voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill. He's a great voice. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I always thought the timekeeper, I can't remember his name, was more of like a MGTOW thing. He was like a MGTOW character.
I like Mr. Mixoplex.
Mr. Mesoplex?
Mr. Mixoplex. You have to get him to say his name backwards in order to banish him.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
also the doll maker, and also like that one doll character who just stares and has those weird eyes.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's a great character. We always kind of we look for these MGTOW things now and and everything.
Oh yeah. See, this is look. Superman's in a lead suit, and he's about to and he confronts the Joker.
More powerful than a locomotive, and just about as subtle. Ooh, I'm flattered you put on your Sunday best. Where is she, Joker? Forget about
Can you hear it?
Oh
Feast your
yeah.
eyes on
Yeah.
this. Now I'll ask you once more.
See, Kal-El's no beta. He adopts the persona of Clark Kent based on how human males interact. It's not his fault that his perception is spot on.
Yeah, he's got to keep up with that character regardless, and that
That's
kind
it.
of gives him a hindrance a lot.
Silly.
It hinders his natural character.
Yeah, he has to suppress his true nature in order to act like one of these fucking simps.
Oh, what's the matter, Soupy? No steam left in the old locomotive?
I like how they end it. Like, basically, the reason why nobody knows that Clark Kent is Superman, the reason why nobody thinks Bruce Wayne is Batman is because they switch places with each other. Like sometimes Superman will dress as Batman and go out and fight crime, and sometimes Batman will dress up as Superman, so that that's how they keep their personas secret.
Huh. Well, that's an odd thing there.
Get
Well,
out!
it's funny because it's practical because one lives in Metropolis, one lives in Gotham. You know they're both smart enough to figure out who each other is, who one
Oh,
another are.
sure, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I and
So
that's
where's
what I
Holly
like.
up?
And yeah, and that's what I liked about Batman versus Superman is because, like, if you look, they could tell they knew who each other were. They weren't stupid. They knew.
Hmm.
Did you say something about Talia? Like Talia al Ghul?
Yeah, what is she doing here now? She's
Oh, that's
I couldn't
that
kind of
wasn't
make.
no, that wasn't Talia. That was Mrs. That was not Mrs. Moneypenny, but that was Lex Luthor's sidekick. Her name's something M. Her name's something M.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
She drives
Yeah, I think it is.
she drives him around. Yeah, I forget yeah, and fights for him. Like she's like how like she's the Harley to his Joker.
Okay.
Oh, God! Oh, it bit me! It bit me! Hang on. I know a medical website. I can feel my foot, floating. Oh, they're a pop-up ad. Oh, they're making me sign up for their newsletter.
Okay, let's move on here a little
Yeah. Okay.
bit.
Yeah. So let's. Okay. But that brings up the larger point of what I think this will venture into a good conversation. But the reason why people believe, or the reason why people don't like the new version of Superman is because if you were Superman, if you're basically born God, and you turn around and look at the society that doesn't want to be helped, of course it's going to embitter you. And that's why adopting this false persona of Clark Kent, it's not Clark Kent's fault that that his, like I said, that his view of men and women are spot on. So and it's unfortunate. It's either indoctrinate. People are either indoctrinated into it, or their bodies are just slaves to it on a biological level. Just being
Yeah.
animals.
Oh yeah.
What
Yeah.
and what do you think of like repression? Like it's no good repressing any of that stuff because like suppressing stuff can just lead to worse, can actually make you physically sick or physically
Well,
ill.
that's what we'd say about it in MGTOW all the time. That what we've been taught, what we've been is just suppress it, be a man, man up, and we know that it has a lot of implications with our physical health, the way we look at the world, with our mental health, with our outlook on life, and we can't suppress that. And what are some of the things that we get suppressed as males? Our aggression right off the bat,
We're
and
not
it's the same
allowed.
thing with
We're
Superman.
not allowed.
Yeah, it's not allowed. It's not allowed, even if it's in a sporting event
Even if it's
or
justified,
there's
doesn't matter. You should have, you should have been. If they don't say man up, they should have said they say you should have been an adult about it. When
right.
that's bullshit because women get to have their little, get to fight and throw their tantrums, whatever, and get other men beat up, and so it's just, not that I want to go around beating up people, but I should be able to hit somebody else without a bunch of people, hit some guy without a bunch of people trying to jump me or whatever. There should be some. There's supposed to be some honor in fighting, in fighting or in combat or in just respect. The golden rule: just show me respect, I'll show you respect.
Right. We have a lot of sporting events, and as men, we have boxing, kickboxing, karate. We
MMA,
have that
MMA,
that's based
UFC,
around,
UFC,
yeah,
MMA.
releasing those. We get to release those manly masculine traits of ours, and then even that gets tailored back. We were expected to take that, come back, go into society, and when people show real aggression towards us in more passive ways, we're not allowed to rise above that with the aggression we've learned. With like an equal force on that, it gets perceived as we're just being aggressive. I've had the police called on me before about he's being aggressive. Uh, and it's like, wait, I was just rising up above that that
That's not
that
a that's
that
not a
path.
crime.
Yeah, that passive aggressive that was posed at me. I didn't, most males I
I
know,
can't fucking
they
stand
usually,
passive aggressive bullshit. It makes me want to hit people.
oh God, yes, yeah, that rolls down into most of our life. We get chained to chairs as children, and okay, just learn how to read Emily Dickerson here. That's like rubbing sandpaper across my teeth. But no, all of a sudden I'm sitting there reading Emily Dickinson. I don't want to read Emily Dickinson. I have nothing in common. There's nothing for me to learn there. Uh, we get these female characters in books. Anne Frank, Emily Dickinson pushed on us, and it has nothing to do with growing up and being a man.
No, it's just about girl
From the
power. It's about girl
it's
power.
just about go girl power.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
go,
that.
you go, you go, girl. Nothing that you do is ever wrong, ever.
Well, that goes back to my analogy with the piece of the equality pie. They had to take a little from the men to give, and then here we are sitting here. We're not allowed. You look at shop classes in high schools now that are closing down, sporting events because lack of money, and you say, how can you possibly have a lack of money in this whole thing?
Well, it's basic.
Uh,
It's basic math. If you take power, or if you give power to one group, you have to take it from another. That's just basic math.
Right, yeah, and what it boils down to is Title VII, and that's what Johnny Manziel's dealing with Title VII now, and Title VII, and a lot of these things. You, you have to spread out, like, and we'll take, say, the Ohio State football team or the LSU football team or anybody like that, and the major provider uh, is men's football. They make the most amount of money. Men's basketball makes, and now sharing these funds. A little bit of what we are gets taken to go for non-popular sporting events, and that's the same thing in school. We lose our football, we lose our shop classes, so we can have unpopular ideas like flower weaving or
You are all special, unique little
yeah,
snowflakes.
your special, unique little sport. So we can start these gender studies classes, and the gender studies classes have nothing to do with reality in the world. Uh,
There's no
but
practical application.
there's no practical application. When men learn, from the time we start doing sports, uh, we're learning algebra, we're learning sports statistics, and that's math, and it's practical application in life. It's teaching men how to compete in a very honorable way. Uh, but no, 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 can't have that because this equality pie seems to be, everybody's got this false concept that equality is a pie, and it's not a pie, it's a river. And all you got to do, girls, is go out and grab some of that. And it's based on merit. How much you can pull in is how much you.
If you don't come to the river will drown you.
Yes, if you got to come to the river, and that's what it's been like that forever for men. But men rise up. We go to the river. We grab what's ours. We
We
take
sink
what's
or
ours.
swim. Men sink or swim because nobody helps us out when we're down. I mean, that's just a fact of
Right.
it.
Right. If the equality pie or the whatever metaphysical pie I'm talking about was an actual pie, then you could split little pieces from one man to another man, and it would work that way. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way. It's just two gender sexes split down the middle, and then all we end up giving up is more of our pie. So we end up with 1/3, and they end up with 2/3, and that's where the entitlement comes in because they still don't understand the total concept of you got to go out and grab it, and to do that, you have to have certain masculine traits as a person in this, and it will suffice as being a good woman and a strong woman to grab that piece of the pie or go get that, approach the river. Uh, and then you can grab what's yours or what you feel you deserve in this life
Yeah, but
without taking
that's
from
why
somebody
taxes.
else.
Yeah, but like you're inadvertently like that. That's what taxes are about, though. People who don't deserve, I pay my tax money. People who get it, people who really need, the stuff aren't actually getting it. Like if you're gonna go ahead take taxes out of my, money, whatever, but at least make sure it gets to the right people, which it doesn't.
No, it doesn't really get to the right people, and we have the whole system, which is just a big sponge on the system right now that are eating way too much, way too much. You look at the Health and Human Service system here now. Uh, the actual bill for Health and Human Services to do everything they do, and the altruistic part of that is $683 billion. We have a $3.2 billion system. $2.2 trillion goes to Health and Human Services. So where does that other uh, $1.6 trillion go? Well, that goes to feed the system itself. That doesn't never make it to the clients. That never makes it to the human being at the bottom end of the system. Uh, the people that really deserve it. Uh, there's
Yeah,
got
well,
to be a better way.
I don't know if you know the expression or not, but the low man on the totem pole gets shit on.
Yeah, the low man. We got this trickle down economics that never trickles down to the low end. If you took $2.2 trillion and you split that up between every person in poverty in the United States, it would come out to somewhere around $18,000. Uh, and this is Bernie. What's the other candidate's name? He wants to give a base wage for everybody. Well, that's where that base wage comes from. And if we got rid of Health and Human Services, we just give it in check form to every person in poverty, and then that would raise our whole system up. We'd have such an explosion of buying and selling and business in America that we would have to take in immigrants.
Yeah.
Uh, but as long as we're sitting on this Health and Human Service system that has this false concept of equality,
Stop
that they
triggering
can
me with facts.
yeah,
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
cut their 2/3 part off of that, and then pay themselves with that. This is never going to work, and that's the part of the egalitarian system that most people I know, even the most hardcore liberals, the hardcore libertarians, will tell you they're all for uh, uh, altruism
Yeah,
in our society.
altruism and yeah, and some modicum of egalitarianism.
Yeah, but you just can't have two-thirds of the whole total economy being ripped off by just so you can pay people.
No.
And these people generally are in an authoritarian sense, and it becomes a totalitarian society then where you got these authoritarian figures, top 1%, that are just sucking on the system like the Trumps. That's where his billions were made. His
Yeah.
father, uh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
with the war
exactly.
cause.
I've tried to explain this to some retards on the right, and I've had to preface this by saying, look, I am not a leftist. I'm not a rightist. I'm not on the right. I'm not on the left. I see
Yeah,
that both.
I'm
It's a
not on the
fault. It's a
left. I'm
fault.
not on.
It's a false left-right paradigm. And I was just pointing out to them
It's a
that
false paradigm.
somebody did an expose, and they actually crunched the numbers and did the math and figured out that if Trump would have just left his investments alone from if Trump would have just left his dad's money alone, he'd actually would have accrued more money than he actually did. He's actually, bled more money out than he originally had.
Right.
So,
That tells a lot about.
when people say, "Oh, he's a good businessman," it's like, do you know
He's not a good.
it's like, do you know do you know he declared bankruptcy 3 times? And then
Yeah,
people
yeah.
think that
He's
he
just
can
a.
run. People think he can run the country when he's declared bankruptcy three
So
times. No, thank
didn't
you.
didn't Trump just get the nomination? Did he just win it?
A whole bunch of chicanery. It was rigged. The party split up, and we haven't seen this type of nonsense since the Civil War. The Republican Party split up into another party, and so did the Democrats. It's just because if it wasn't clear to people during the Bush Kerry, Bush whatever elections, it should be clear to them now that the system's rigged. Their vote doesn't
All
matter.
right, that's it. Guys, guns, militia time. Get together, get
That's what,
organized, get
but
down to
no,
the
but that,
center.
like before we got on live hangouts, what I was saying is, if enough of us register as if enough of us register as conscientious objectors here in America, we can start our own government, because it even says in our own Constitution, in our Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence, that once the government gets out of control and enough people have agreed, it is a right. It is, it is not a right, but it is a duty. It is your
Duty.
duty. It is your duty as a citizen to make sure that to ensure the survival of our republic. And we are supposed to be a republic, not a democracy. It pisses me off when people say this is a democracy. Well, technically, it's run as a
Oh,
democracy,
Alex, that
but it's
kills me.
supposed to be a republic. We're supposed to live in a Greek republic.
Yeah, that kills me when they say, "Well, we live in a democracy, a society." No,
No,
we live in a society that is a democratic society according to the monetary sense of a
exactly.
democratic society. That and if you go back to Plato and you ask Plato what he thought that was, it's totally different than what we think it is now. Uh, we live in a republic, like you said. It has nothing
Plato's
to do.
republic. Anyone?
Yeah,
Come on.
they got it totally screwed up, and they're totally screwing it up more. Well, you know what? I don't think they're totally. I think they're feeling the backlash from what's supposed to happen now. Uh, and they're just going nuts trying to incorporate this democratic or democracy into it. And
They're just trying to co-opt it. You mean like
oh
just
God, yeah, they're trying to co-opt it, and it's just what always happens. It's the Erebos eating its tail, and there's just nothing but backlash now.
yeah. Oh, but, yeah, I have a little tat of the Ouroboros, because
You
yeah,
got
that's
the
what, cause,
Erebos?
yeah, I have the Ouroboros because that's what so much shit is, it's just like fucking snake eating its tail, man. That's all it is, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna get the Ouroboros. I ended up getting the Virtus tattoo of the horse with the flame coming out of his head.
I have, I have like I have an all-seeing eye. I also have like a universal hexachron, and I have some other like sacred symbols.
Okay,
Yeah, like,
great.
and I
Yeah,
have
I love
and some
tattoos
military
like that.
and some and some military stuff, like, so a POW MIA for my grandfather. When he was I
Okay,
mean, for my papa, not my grandfather. My papa fought in Vietnam and he was captured. So yeah, I have the POW MIA for him.
okay. Yeah, I got the group that I was in. I was in a PSYOP group, so I got the Veritas Truth tattoo. And
In vino veritas. Mm,
yeah,
with
the
wine
horse
comes
with the
truth.
flame. Yeah, yeah. I've got a Marine
What are people
tattoo.
what are people in the chat saying? I can't see the chat. That's what
People
I'm
in the
asking.
chat, oh yeah, let me see. Oh, you don't got it up? Okay.
No.
Yeah, let me give a shout out real quick to the people, the active users in the chat.
Tell
This
them,
Dr.
or
McCoy, Ben
ask
Holocausters.
them, yeah, ask them what they would like us to talk about.
Yeah, they usually give me some good the event calendar. When you know the similar thoughts, it's great if you were would honor to fight, but truth, when people go to fight, it's rare that the honor is though is thought about. Yeah, honor is a strictly male thing, and uh, most
It
people
goes,
don't
I
understand
fucked up.
honor.
People, some people don't understand, male or female people don't understand, people won't admit, I fucked up. People have a
Yeah,
real big
honor
problem
is a
saying, yeah, I fucked up, and I think that has a lot to do with honor, because people don't honor themselves, so they're not willing to say, yeah, I fucked up, because yeah, everybody fucks up every once in a while,
yeah.
but there's people who just will staunchly, say, no, I didn't fuck up. You're the idiot. You're the idiot. And it's like, no, you're the idiot.
Oh yeah, that's the opposite of honor. We get the female version of honor, which is gynocentrism, and men honor is an evolutionary mechanism that was brought out by a herding culture. Uh, it's protect your farm. It's if you at that time you had to protect your wife, or villains would come in and they would take your farm and take your wife. So we developed honor. We needed to have a system of character where you can identify thieves, and honor is a system that that is enacted during periods of mass theft. Uh, Women can develop honor short periods of time, but they often lose it, as we've seen after the Civil War. What women have is conscience by concern. What
Well,
concerns them
they
at the
have
moment.
no loyalties, is what I like to add. They have
Yes,
no true
yes, they're
loyalty.
yes. When you start understanding the cryptic female and you start applying conscience by concern, a woman will run off with the very next guy, which we call hypergamy, because her concern has been enacted. She has conscience by concern. I try to explain this to men all the time, but and these are come from very well notable books. The culture of southern the culture of southern violence by Nesbitt. These are books that are taught in your local colleges, but no one ever takes them seriously, or actually figures out what Nesbitt was saying about the culture of southern violence and honor. And women don't have honor. And I hear guys say this all the time. Well, that bitch has no honor. And then I look up and go, right, she does
No
not have
shit.
honor. There's no she has conscience by concern, and she was just doing what concerns her. And she will push that conscience way to the edge and boundaries of what concerns her. And so as soon as you understand that about the female, you're going to do better in this society. You're going to do a lot better. Uh, but it's back to the blue pill programming, where I hear all kinds of guys go, "Oh, I've got an honorable woman," or "I got to protect the honor of a woman." What are you saying when you're saying you got to protect the honor of a woman? Is you're protecting nothing. All you're doing is projecting. You're protecting your projection of her back to yourself. So what you're protecting is your honor through what
It's
you're projected onto
infantilism.
her.
It's
It's
infantilism.
infantilism, yeah. And then these men get violent about offending a woman and stuff, and that is so juvenile, and it's so anti-human, and it shows how in deeply these these systems have permeated the oh, what would I say, the male himself, the what Jung talks about, the conscious male, and what a lot of people talk about, a lot of us, it just gets permeated by this stuff, and from this simple concept of, yes, that is how they are. Admit it to yourself. Most guys, when they come in, we started off this podcast by talking about family, and how you had just gone through a family event with gynocentrism,
Yeah.
and You've seen how much honor they have at that point, did you?
None.
None.
They have them dead. They have them, before the fucking body's even cold. They're splicing up there, all of the stuff. So they have no, no conscience, no loyalty, no respect, no dignity, no honor, nothing.
Right. It's very disturbing when you first see it. I think my mailman came because my little dog wants to kill the window.
No, I've
Sorry
seen,
about that, guys.
no problem, but I saw it before. My stepdad died when I was 14, and no, when I was when I was 13, and the same thing happened there. His family came over and basically cleaned out the house of all of his clothes and like took all the stuff. So I've seen it happen before. It's just, what bothered me more than anything is like how quickly like they had that shit like planned out. Like they had him like they had a place ready for him and all this stuff. And it's fucked up because he still had brain waves. Like his brain waves were still going, but they chose to pull the plug on him. Which I think they should have at least let him stay on the plug for one day just to see if he fucking recovers, then do it. You know what I mean? Like give the dude a
Right.
day.
Yeah. They
He paved the way
they
for
do
all
these
of you.
very. Yeah, women within the social systems have this stuff figured out. They get into those systems, these social systems. That's what they learn through these gender studies courses, how to corrupt the social system. And I always say the social system is so corrupted now by females that it's hard for males to work within that system. That's why we walk away from that system. But you see it very clearly when a member of your family dies. I've seen it with my family when my father died. I've seen it with my mother when after my mother died. How much better women are navigating than these systems, these social systems, and it's simply at a certain point of these social systems, if I would have applied for the same things they would apply, I would have got turned down because there's this gynocentric edge that is given to females. Uh, it's very corrupt, and it's a shame that some of us have to witness this in our lives and witness and we're talking about family, loved family members, and these relationships will never be the same. These families will never be the same, and it goes back to the destruction of the American family,
The
the
nuclear
the
family, the proverbial nuclear family,
the
as they used to
nuclear
call it.
family, the father. Yeah, the father is just a working machine. Go out and make your own money because we're taking all this, and it goes portions go to the government for that Uncle Sam simp farm that he has, and portions go to most of the portions will go to the gynocentric or the female presences in the family to make sure that they're okay. But most of the males will walk away and go, "Oh, geez, I just got screwed over big time here because I didn't know how the system works." Which goes back to, yeah, college courses and gender studies aren't just college courses and gender studies. They're developing little there's millions and millions and millions of these little social workers
So
running
it's
around that
like it's
know the,
psychological warfare.
yeah, they know the system very well, and they know how the system works. So you think you're going to win in a situation like that, especially when a probate decisions or elderly care come in? No, no. Uh, what they call feminist care theory is simply learning the system, the numbers of the system, so they can win.
Basically.
Yeah, where is Shiny? Shiny, take a little break there. Are you
Yeah, I just got back. I just had a drink of water.
oh, you got
So
a drink of water?
yeah, so Trump's now the nominee. So what's that? Hillary's out. What does that mean? Did Trump win the Democrat vote, or so
I
what
don't know
happens
which
now?
vote he won.
Didn't
Uh,
he? Didn't he? He's isn't he running under a Republican platform? Isn't that why he
See,
debated?
yeah, he's
Isn't
running
that why he
under
debated Ted Cruz? That's why he debated Ted Cruz,
yeah
right?
the
let's just have a
independent.
quick check.
Yeah, let's see. Can we line up behind? Oh yeah, today's story is the congressional Republicans will line up behind Trump now, and Bush snubbed Trump this morning, which is just so sickening. Because Trump is just
Is he still
actually
alive? What's Bush doing? Still alive? Why can't he just?
Yeah, what's that guy? Yeah, Trump is Trump is just the incarnation of Bush, with a bigger
Yeah,
mouth and a
he's
bigger
just
attitude.
exactly with the smarter ass and probably a prettier wife and prettier daughter. That's all. Have you
Yeah,
seen Bush's
he's just
daughters? People
he
used to
should.
always make fun of his daughters, but I haven't seen them. So okay, no,
There is a
Trump is a Republican. So he won the
yeah. Trump is
Republican
a
nominee, so
Republican.
he'll represent the Republicans now. But I didn't know what Hillary was. Is she like the Democrat? So Hillary
Yeah,
runs
she's
the Democrat.
the Democrats. Yeah, and she'll probably win the nomination there.
Okay, so what's Byrne then? Where's Heartburn? You know, he's always talking about this stuff, and then when he's got a platform, an opportunity, he's never around. Okay, well, in the UK news, we had the local elections in the UK today.
Did you?
So
How'd that work out?
well, let's have a look now. So you guys, you got 1 hour. If you're listening in the UK, you've got 1 hour to go vote to decide who represents your city or the area that you're living in the city. Who gets to represent your city in the
Don't we have
general elections?
don't we have a few MGTOW or men's rights activists that were running, or are they all gone? Have they been trumped out?
Well, there was Michael Buchanan,
Does
but I
Mr.
think
Candy?
he stopped now because I don't know. It seems to be quite difficult. It doesn't seem to be. You need to have quite a large level of support to run as a member of parliament. But it seems like it's more hectic over in the US. But over in the
Uh,
UK,
like guys, the politics are very dry. Let's move on to something else. Like I don't, like yeah, it's just I've been completely inundated with this stuff, and we all know that we all know that it's Drac. We all know that the system's rigged. So I suggest that we move on to another subject. But maybe that's just me. But I just read in the chat that, the dry talk of politics, and honestly, I get the
Yeah.
same feeling. It's just like it's a corrupt system. There's the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. It's a joke.
you guys,
That's why I think it's funny when people talk about the Illuminati and stuff. It's funny because you can't even get 12 heads of state or six governors or whatever to agree on one thing. But no, there's this big conspiracy going on out there, and they got all their shit together. It's just like what? No, it's not. Have you ever actually dealt with people in the real world? Because no, like
Yeah, I think it's the importance of MGTOW too. They actually become the system for MGTOWs.
yeah.
We don't rely on these people anymore. We've walked away from these people.
well, it's
Well, it's
interesting
like
because
Fight Club. You know.
because the thing is, we can't say that men can't realistically say that the government treat us like shit or the government actually doesn't give a shit about us until we've addressed the government, until we've said to the government, okay, look, this is what's happening, this is what happened to us, and they say, well, fuck off, or they say, well, okay, we'll do this, and then year after year nothing happens. See, this process is important to Mgtow, because we're saying basically that we're getting not only the short end of the stick, we're not getting any end of the stick. We're
Yeah,
saying
we're getting
we're,
fed up.
we're, we're totally getting shitted on.
It's a double-edged. We're getting the double-edged sword, is what we're getting.
And the thing is, you get guys like Michael Buchanan, and he is an ex-member of Parliament. He he was part of the Tory party in the UK, and yeah, he's very interested in Mgtow. Obviously, he can't he can't use the label at all because Mgtow's still a very political hot potato. Nobody's going to touch Mgtow that's going to be connected with politics or legislation or anything. At the moment, Mgtow is just a fringe movement that really anybody that wants, basically, even guys that are in Mgtow, they don't even want to talk about it in work because they're afraid they're going to lose their job. So no, it's all very relevant, and I was going to go on to the issue that you just addressed there, but I mean, it is a issue that we do need to consider.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
men's
Well,
rights.
in the chat right here, someone just said, talk about the new strategies cunts will use against us now that MGTOW is growing, and I responded back to him with what strategies, like calling MGTOWs TFLers, like true force loneliness. loser basement dwellers. Like so. The common tactic that I've noticed is basically they just say you can't get pussy, you can't get pussy, and you're angry. That's basically what their syllogism. That's what their bullshit argument is. Is oh you're just pissed off because you can't or is you or some nonsense like that when they have no idea what a Mgtow's individual story is. They make these broad assumptions like dumb
Well,
broads.
well, that's a big issue. I mean,
But
the I,
he's saying beyond name calling actions they use what like doxing like or what like trying to smear trying to like get like Thunderfoot fired, that type of shit, like trying to get people fired from their jobs for stuff that they do on YouTube, that type of stuff.
Right. Yeah, they're going to emasculate us and try to get us out of any position like that.
Everybody stop, men are communicating with each other, we have to stop them. That's really how it's been, and that's why I always refer to the to the stupid petition that those women wrote about coffee or whatever. The men are talking to each other. They're not paying attention to us all the time. This needs to stop. I mean, that's basically what the letter should have said. I think he wants us to try to forecast news and what? Oh yeah, exactly. Or you must be, or you must, or the you must be. Yeah, well, the way I deal with that is, like I'm bisexual, so I have no problem, like I'll flip that on people, especially because they're usually homophobes. So I'll just flip that on them and say, "What, do you want to fuck me? Like, so I'll fuck the shit out of you." Like, like there's a comedian who does. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. There's a comedian who does this joke. I forget his name, but maybe somebody else will remember. He does a joke about oh all you guys out there, you think you're real tough, you fuck you fuck a very soft delicate little girl. Well, guess what, I fuck a man who just fixed a car, who just rebuilt a car, so who's more powerful, like something to that effect. And it's it's pretty funny because it's just
Okay,
so off the wall.
I'm trying to get. I'm working on something while I'm working here. Just guys continue. My son wants me
All
to
right.
look up a password.
uh, a cuss word.
A password.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should show them how to make passwords so that they're specialized in that. You know, how to create a password that's hard to get into, like something that won't be common or whatever. Like some people make their names their password. Obviously, it's like, yeah, don't do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Tifa said hi. Would you like me to invite him in?
Tifa. Uh,
It's up to you.
when we asked the people and
Well, it's
and
just it's just a shining light left, so I don't know.
oh, shining light left. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, let me write this down real quick
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
son.
No rush. No rush. Just keeping you updated on the chat info.
Yeah.
Wait, where did I find that chat box? Okay, yeah, there it is. Oh, someone in the chat says new laws and policy changes. New laws and policy changes. You can read my mind. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah. Well, it goes to the whole thing. It goes to what I was saying earlier. I'm not sure if we broadcast this when it was live, but I was basically saying, before I think this was before the recording began. If enough of us Americans register as conscientious objectors and register to the point where nobody, enough people don't turn out for voting, then what can happen and what will happen by constitutional right is that everybody will be able to elect our own president and elect our own bodies of government to represent us, we the true people. I mean, it's written into the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, basically saying if the government gets out of control, it is not only, it's not your right, but it's your duty. It's your implicit duty as a citizen to, get rid of all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah, that's Second Amendment. You law. That's our constitutional duty to do that. Uh, as for bringing people in, I think I'm about done with this podcast.
Okay.
I have things to do here,
All right.
and this is your this is your Thursday podcast. Maybe we'll come back later. Maybe we won't. I don't know yet. But I do have things to do today, and I'm going to have to leave the podcast now myself.
All right. Real quick. Anybody on Google Plus right now? Look me up. My name's Devious.
Yeah.
My name's the same on YouTube. Devious. Just type in Devious Dominic. You'll find me. If you message me on Google Plus, I'll accept your invite. We can do a hangout together. Anybody in the chat? So yeah, go ahead and wrap it up if you want. Traverse.
Okay, and with that, we talked about a broad, a large variety of things today: comics, pop culture, men. It all works back to men. I hate to use the line, but like Mgtow United says, all roads lead back to Mgtow. Everything in your life concerns everything in your life is saturated with a gynocentric, and we have to learn how to cut those strings. And that's what we do around here. We cut those strings. Some of them seem intangible to us, and some of them will seem a little bit off. But once you get real deep into this MGTOW thing, you're going to see there's a lot of strings that's attached. You learn how to cut them, and that's your MGTOW. That's how you go galt. And with that, I'm going to stop the broadcast.